what do the Twins preach? I
Right.
mean, I want to know.
Sure. Well, I think I was probably singled out a little bit just
Okay.
because of being a top pick, and they had a lot of plans for me. But they were a very attention to detail oriented organization, extremely attention to detail. Terry Ryan, the general manager, all he cares for you to do is come out and play the game hard. Don't make mistakes, especially not mental mistakes, and let the chips fall where they may. And as you go through a spring training with the Minnesota Twins, it's very unlike all of other spring trainings. It's infield practice. If you miss a ball, you start over. In big league camp, it's very lackadaisical in most camps. Obviously, as you know, you miss balls, you boot balls, big deal, you move on. But the Twins, you don't do that. I remember Tom Kelly, my first big league camp. We're out there taking infield. Back then, we still took infield before games.
You think guys should take it right now, every day?
Not during the season, I don't think, but spring training for sure. I
Every
think
day?
so. I think 100% during spring training. So I remember we booted a couple balls. TK took us on the back field. I mean, this is 25 minutes before the game starts. Took us on the back field, and we had to go through the full infield practice. I mean, this is big leaguers. This is Torrey Hunter, David Ortiz, Doug Minkiewicz. This is big leaguers. It's not instruction league anymore. And we're out there on the back field taking 3 or 4 different types of infields prior to the game. And that's kind of where you got the attention to detail, and the way we played the game is because of the way we were brought up. And I think you're seeing it not only with myself, but also with Justin Morneau,
Right.
bringing him over and the way he plays the game and goes about his business as well.
You guys end up having some twins, and
Yes.
then 10 days later, you're Colorado Rocky.
Yeah, and it was kind of an easy segue for me to leave the Minnesota Twins because it was easy for me to say I'm always going to have twins in my life. So it was an easy way for me to say I'm moving on. We're going to Colorado, but I'm always going to have twins in my life, so don't worry. I'm always going to be with the Minnesota Twins. And, it was an extremely tough decision for us, playing 10 years at that point in Minnesota, and the roots that we established, my wife and I, whether it be charities or just the people and the vendors and the greeters at the stadiums and the nannies that take care of the kids and everything that goes involved with being in a big league city. It was tough leaving that. But coming here to Colorado, it's been awesome. These 3 years have gone by really quick because of how well we've been treated here and how well we've been received. And, it was a tough transition, but one that I would do over again in a heartbeat. He actually seeked me out, and it goes back. Being Virginia, we're close to Old Dominion University. Old Dominion University used to have a clinic every year where they'd bring in a clinician of a Hall of Fame caliber, whether it be Harmon Killebrew or Hank Aaron or Jim Palmer, Warren Spahn. They'd bring these guys in. You'd have a banquet, and then the clinic would be on Saturday. Well, Harmon knew I played for the Twins, so immediately I had a connection with him, and he spent the whole weekend kind of talking with me, and we came up with a little bit of a relationship, and then in spring training we were able to rekindle it and actually have it grow. And I think over the years, for whatever reason, he took a liking to me, and obviously I'm just sitting there trying to soak everything up. And he really only talked to me about hitting one time, and he asked me, I was taking batting practice, he says, "Michael, how do you hit home runs?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, your swing, how do you hit home runs?" I'm like, "Well, you hit down on the ball and it gets the backspin." He goes, No. The only way to hit home runs is to swing up and have an uppercut so you get trajectory for it to go over the fence. And it seemed so simple and so old school that it made sense to me.
Right.
And from that moment forward, I lowered my hands down. This was in 2006. I lowered my hands. First year I hit 25 home runs. And he said, the next year, he says, "You're a 30 home run hitter. Believe it. At some point, you can hit 30 home runs." 2009 hit 32 home runs and made him look like a genius. So, I think that was another reason why he kind of took a liking to me, because everything that he said was going to happen ended up coming true.
Well, do we have time to talk a little more?
Yeah, we've
hitting?
got a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, you know how much I love hitting, and I love the approach of hitting. To me, I was always an inside-out hitter, and I looked for a fastball middle away, and I would try to drive the ball, over the second baseman. Your approach struck me this offseason, or when I asked you at spring training, explain what your hitting approach was.
Yeah, it's not very different from what you said, but my goal is to hit a fastball over the right field fence and hit an off-speed pitch over the left field fence. I'm not trying to get base hits. I'm trying to hit the ball as hard as I possibly can, but I'm a 100% guess hitter. I'm trying to constantly think back and forth with the catcher and the pitcher. I'm sitting on pitches. I'm laying off pitches. And when I became a good hitter was when I started becoming disciplined enough to not swing at the pitches I wasn't looking for.
Right.
And when you can do that, that's when you start elevating your game. And, you know, it took me a while my first year here to figure out pitchers, what they were trying to do to me, catchers, what they were trying to do to me, because I'd never played in the National League before. Last year I was able to figure that out and have a pretty good year. But it's as simple as I can get it. I just try and hit that fastball away, hit it to the right field, hit that off speed to the left.